Okay, so let's talk about that feeling. You know the one, that little bit of dread when you realize your AWS certification is about to expire. Well, if that's you, you're gonna want to stick around, because today we're diving into something totally new, a game-changing way to recertify your AWS Cloud Practitioner credential. Let's get right into it.
Right? That email lands in your inbox and bam, the countdown clock starts ticking. Your mind just immediately jumps to, oh great, time for hours of studying, endless flashcards, those dreaded practice exams. But what if it didn't have to be like that? What if there was a way to recertify that actually replaced all that stress with, real hands-on skill building and maybe even a little bit of fun?
So yeah, this brings us to what I call the recertification dilemma. For like ever, recertification has meant just one thing, right? You got to prove you still remember all the theory by passing another timed test. It's a cycle we all know. And let's be honest, it's not always our favorite part of the job.
Think about it like this. You've got the old way, all that exam stress, the cramming, the focus on just remembering theory. Then there's this new path. It's all about being hands-on, building skills you'll actually use. And get this, it's actually engaging. Seriously, this is a total game changer.
Okay, so a new quest awaits. What exactly is this new path? Well, it looks like AWS is completely rethinking this whole thing. It's not about an exam you have to pass anymore. It's about a quest you get to complete. Let's break down what that actually means.
All right, here it is, AWS Cloud Quest. So what is it? It's basically a game-based learning path that lives right inside AWS Skill Builder. So forget multiple choice questions. With this, you recertify by doing stuff, completing actual practical hands-on tasks and building real solutions. And you do it all in this cool interactive virtual city. How awesome is that? And this right here, this is the most important part. It is not an exam. It's not just a fun little game slapped on top of the old test. No way. This completely changes the entire goal. You're not trying to pass a test. You're proving your skills in a real, immersive way. You're literally learning by doing.
Okay, I'm guessing you're probably a little curious now, right? How does this whole quest thing actually work? Let's get into your mission briefing.
So, who can do this? The eligibility checklist is super simple, like surprisingly simple. First, you've got to have the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner cert already. Makes sense. And second, your certification needs to be expiring within the next 6 months. That's it. If you can say yes to both of those, you're in.
And how do you start? It's literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, you log into AWS Skill Builder. Then, you just search for AWS Cloud Quest Recertify Cloud Practitioner. And step 3, you just start playing. Dive in, complete all the missions, and knock out the assignments. So you've done the quest, you've built the things. What do you get? Let's talk about the rewards of victory, because this is the really good part. Look at that number, 0. What does that mean? That's the number of traditional, stressful, timed exams you have to sit for to recertify. 0. By finishing this quest, you get to skip the exam completely. And for all that, what's the payoff? 3. You get 3 more years added to your certification. You get the exact same result as if you'd passed the exam, but you did it through a way more interesting and, honestly, more valuable process. And it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. You don't just renew your AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner cert, you also walk away with a brand new Cloud Quest digital badge. So you can go and show off on your profile that you don't just know the theory, you have proven hands-on skills. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is how AWS themselves describe it, a fun, engaging, and practical way to stay certified. For me, that word practical is everything. This is about actually getting better at what you do, not just ticking a box for HR. I think we can all agree that's a huge win.
You know, this whole thing from AWS makes you step back and think. It kind of forces us to start rethinking the exam itself. This is bigger than just one certification. It's about how we prove our skills across the entire tech industry.
Because at its core, this path values what you can do, not just what you can memorize for a test. It's a massive shift away from a model based on theory and memorization to one that's all about validating your real-world ability to build solutions. And let's be real, in the job market today, that's what employers really care about.
So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Is the future of professional skill building a quest and not a question paper? Are we watching the beginning of the end for the old-school certification exam? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? Thanks for watching.